Now, for the past 4 days, I've been dying to talk about this stuff, but since it's officially out there, it's basically midnight in most places. I can talk about Andrew, Toby, and and Tom. So from this point on, I'll be referring to as OG Spidey, Amazing Spidey, and Home Spidey. That's probably easier. Everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say that stuff. So the things that happened near the final act of the movie, as most of you hopefully already saw by now, it's quite jarring on the effects of things. The thing I liked most about this movie, it definitely is the final act of the movie when the other Peters came in there, the other villains were interacting with the old protagonists. That was really cool stuff. But the multiverse idea was just holy shit in this movie. It just took like a turn for the what the fuck. Let me explain what I mean here. Thanks to Loki, thanks to What If, more or less WandaVision per se, because of all snap stuff there, but definitely because of What If you watched What If, all the episodes, you know that with one single change, a branch happens into other things. It's quite messed up what happens in the multiverse. In fact, I'm surprised that the TVA from Loki didn't come in there and stop Peter from changing freaking like the things that happened with Doc Ock and Green Goblin and Electro. That's course correcting stuff right here. The stuff that Home Spidey did, he made it so this movie changed dramatically. This movie changes dramatically. And this movie changed dramatically. I think Electro was in part 1, right? Anyway, so he made it so those things didn't happen. Without Electro's powers, that means the big finale at the end with Gwen Stacy doesn't happen, and therefore he doesn't lose his Gwen. However, it already happened in a way where he lost his Gwen, so Electro goes back to this movie, and it doesn't really change a lot. The fact that this is Spider-Man 1, the fact that Green Goblin is no longer that way anymore, I think that OG Spidey said that he already lost his MJ, so Spider-Man 3 already happened. So, like, this is pretty obvious because Sandman's in this picture, and Sandman knows who Spidey is, so therefore, the events of this movie already happened. And because the movie events already happened, like, so what happened here is, this is a lot of stuff, right? Doc Ock says that Norman Osborn already died in this movie. So technically speaking, he shouldn't be here. He shouldn't be in this movie. So Norman shouldn't be here in this movie because he knows that he already died. So how is he alive to be in this movie? I gotta watch it again to clarify that. Could he have been taken before he dies on the glider? Because Doc Ock said clearly that Norman dies on the glider. So is he in the movie? So is Norman in the movie now because he's taken before he dies and he goes in this movie? Norman's death in this movie doesn't affect what happens with Doc Ock in this movie. To my knowledge, it doesn't affect anything. But of course, because this movie takes place after this one, he knows that Norman Osborn dies. So the time portal thing there took Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, before he dies. So more or less, the portal's taking like the key villains from the other movies and stuff like that. But like, I'm not sure about this whole thing about, Electro knowing who Peter Parker was. I'm not completely sure about that one because the movie was so like bad to me. I didn't really bother to know anything about the picture. So, like, doesn't Mysterio know that Peter Parker is him, and he should have took him out of that one? I mean, like, the whole thing about No Way Home is that Electro outed Peter Parker Spider-Man to the world. So definitely, Mysterio should have known and came into this movie, right? Or is it like just doing some canon thing where you can only take him from like the movie, like the other movies or whatever? I mean, like, Mysterio should have came back. Like, I know he's dead, but like, they brought him back, Norman Osborn, and he's dead. They could have got Mysterio back before he died to fuck with Peter Parker. They would have made it the Sinister Six in the movie. It would have been Sinister Six in the movie. They got Lizard in there. They got Sandman in there. They got Electro in there. They could have had Mysterio in there. I don't know about that one. Imagine they got the animated Kingpin. Yeah, I believe Kingpin knows. I think Kingpin knows. Like, they're gonna get an animated Kingpin and got him on that one, And plus, like, there's other people that know the secret identity. Doesn't Gwen Stacy know that Peter Parker's Spider-Man, and she knows that Miles Morales is Spider-Man, things like that? I mean, like they're picking and choosing here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know it's like a finale thing there. Bring the other Spider-Mans in, the whole thing there. But technically speaking, they could have the other Spider-Man, like from other dimensions or whatever, come into this thing. Maybe be animated, maybe not there. That kind of stuff. It would be very interesting. But it's a lot to think about, right? It's a lot to think about, and I wasn't really talking about this with anybody else, which is why I'm going on a rant here. A tangent is the correct word I'm supposed to say. That's when you stumble your words because you're so hype. So they got Norman Osborn here from this movie. They got Doc Ock from here. They got Electro from here. They could have did other ones there, but they said, you know what, too much money, that kind of stuff. So they did what they could with what they could have. Now I beg to think that if they had a bigger budget, they could have got more villains and more characters in the movie if they could. But I'm sure there was a limit on things. Now with this happening, right? The main thing is that Home Peter created an alternate timeline in these movies. I'm going to say Electro's in this movie because I don't really know if it's like Amazing 1 or Amazing 2. I'm not 100% sure, okay? So, I'm just going to call this one the Electro movie, alright? It's underneath this one. So, I'm not particularly... Okay, because Home Spidey put OG Spidey and he put back Amazing Spidey in their respective movies. However, something changed in them, and how does that affect them? Now, it would be really cool to see how Home Spidey's tampering with the timeline affects the other people in their movies and all the series, that kind of stuff there. My solution is have like a 8, 9, 10 episode series on Disney Plus. Wait, could it be on Disney Plus because it's Sony? I'm not particularly sure about that one. Not the rights work out and everything. Anyway, just a short story. Somehow, some way, Paramount Plus, whatever you want to call it, Sony Plus, whatever they call it, Bravia Plus, and show what the reactions are to the side stuff, what happened after the other villains went back to the universes, because they're fixed now. How does that affect them to who they are? Was Electro always running amok, and now he's not running amok? And how does Doc Ock, not being a villain asshole, how does that affect things? I mean, like, when he got sent back in time, at what point in the movie did he get sent back in time? And where does he go, where does he go back to? I mean, like, now that he's nice and everything, does he try to kidnap Aunt May? Does that train scene happen? I'm not particularly sure on the whole thing. And because Sandman's here and his thing is cured, does he kill Uncle Ben again? Does he have a grudge against Peter Parker? I'm not sure about the whole thing. So that's kind of like my peeve, if you will, about the whole multiverse thing, because when one thing happens, it splits into so many different things and different realities and different scenarios, stuff like that there. Instead of focusing cleanly, straight line on one particular thing, one particular story, or one thing would affect another thing, that kind of thing, and then for that thing happens. But because the multiverse thing, this thing, and that one, and that one, and then back to over here, and then over here, and over here, and over here, and over here, and then back over here, and then maybe back over here, and then back over here, and that's And you think that's confusing? Imagine Skrulls. Imagine Skrulls, bro. Skrulls are just regular people, heroes or villains, that can be anyone at any time. Like Nick Fury at the end of Far From Home, anyone, anywhere, anytime. You don't know if that's a Skrull, that Skrull, that Skrull, that Skrull, that Skrull. That's not really a Skrull, but that's a Skrull. Dude. So it's just really confusing, bro. I'm gonna watch a lot of these videos. I'm sure some super ultra expert is gonna come out there and and talk about this whole thing in detail on what the potential is of these other the other movies and things like that. It's just so much stuff, bro. It's so much stuff, and I enjoy it. So that's it for now. Clack off.